The host of the 1988 All-Star Game. Alongside the terrific Clark Kellogg and our reporter David Aldridge on the sidelines, I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this terrific city has produced some greats, and 4 of them playing tonight.
You're exactly right, Kevin. The Windy City, Chicago, has produced Mo Cheeks, Isaiah Thomas, Doc Rivers, and Mark Aguirre, all All-Stars. And I'm sure they've got plenty of family and friends in attendance to enjoy their performance on the court.
Yep, so much to celebrate. And Clark, is there a common thread when you think about a Chicago-type player?
Well, I certainly do believe there's a common thread. When playing outside or outdoors in the Windy City, the perimeter shot can easily get blown off course. So you got to be able to get that thing to the rack and in a straight line fashion. And that's something all Chicago players share in common.
A lot of high flyers, you're right. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside, and Dominique Wilkins with Larry Bird the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
Now here's Malone. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Goes back up. Here's Olajuwon. The grace of Hakeem Olajuwon. Something special to see.
How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their career. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last 3 playing here tonight.
Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And, Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those 2.
Throw down the sledgehammer!
No, he didn't. No, he didn't do that. Oh, the human highlight reel. Add another one to his package.
Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Here's Johnson. That shot is off. Good D by Jordan. Wilkins surveying the defense. And the officials call a traveling violation. So the timeout taken here, the first for the West All-Stars.
Nothing going for them right now. Their offense is in big trouble.
First quarter of basketball, just over 2.5 minutes played. And winning the dunk. Yesterday, Clark, can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. Clark, amidst this all-star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon.
It's good from long range. And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
The Tennessee Volunteers should be here.
Magic Johnson in his 8th All-Star game now, 2nd in All-Star votes this year, and he hosts his own All-Star game in the summer in L.A. as a fundraiser. And I understand, big time.
And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
And an exhibition game with plenty of motivation for these stars nonetheless. For more, let's say hello to David Aldridge.
Thanks very much. Now, I was talking to Larry Bird about his goals for the matchup, and he said, I think our job is to get the ball to Michael Jordan, get him into the game, and get the crowd into the game. So if Bird has anything to do with it, Michael Jordan will be the MVP. And that would be poetic justice this weekend. Guys, back to you.
Especially where we are. Well said, David. Thank you. Jordan Clark, obviously, in front of his hometown crowd. He loves it, and they really love it.
No doubt about it, Kevin. Think about the fans in Chicago. They love it.
Look out!
And Dominique Wilkins is the go-to scorer for the Hawks. No question about that. And he's embraced that leadership role as well. Obviously a huge part of the Hawks' success.
Johnson outside. Olajuwon, the pass to Johnson. 2 on the clock. He can't get that one to fall. And so it's the East All-Star finding a 15-point lead at the end of the quarter. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone.
6.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello, his first time coaching in the All-Star Game.
Thomas is out there with Michael Jordan. Then it's Wilkins. Then there's Moses Malone. And it's Bird in a powerful... Oh, and there he puts it down!
Oh, what a
yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, I tell you what, Wilkins is athletic and cut up. Just bouncing off the contact and scoring with that weight room strength.
Drexler, no good. The East leading by 17. Now Thomas. No points in the game yet for him. Five on the clock. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game. And Kareem looking to set the career record for all-star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you got to love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
Yeah, a good one. The East All-Stars need to get another shot. Look at the soft touch of Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
Thomas deciding where to go with it. Back to Jordan. And another three from the East. And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right. Wow. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West. No points yet here in the second quarter for them.
And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
Thomas up top. And the jam by Isaiah Thomas.
They can't miss on an absolute tear.
They can't seem to stop anything right now.
Yeah, you know, it's starting to bubble over emotionally.
Poked away. And here we go. The East with a fast break. About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. Shot clock at 6. There's the dish to Wilkins. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas. Thomas got his 6th assist on the night. And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. So an almost entirely new group now for the West. Olajuwon's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar. Malone comes in for James Worthy. Aguaya's checked in for McDaniel. And Lever's subbed in for Johnson. And it's Drexler missing. And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin. And, you know, they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them. Playing well on both ends of the floor, stifling defense, and dangerous O. That's a heck of a combo.
And here we go. The East with a fast break. Drexler against Wilkins. And good that time. Wilkins has got 7 points for the quarter.
They've done a nice job keeping the intensity up, starting to pull away now.
Pass to Drexler. Back to Lever. Outside, Aguirre. The West again cannot hit.
They desperately need something to fall.
Here's Malone, and there's the drive, and it's Malone finishing it off.
Moses Malone is not only a 6-time rebounding champ, but he's also a 10-time All-Star. He gives the Washington Bullets some real muscle inside. To me, those are always hard calls for the officials, but I don't think he was set right there.
First team foul.
29 seconds left to play in the first half. Malone against Olajuwon. Jordan trying to free himself up. It's good. And Moses Malone, Clark, the wily veteran for the Washington Bullets.
And you know, Kevin, his coach Wes Unseld says Malone has really added a level of aggressiveness to the Washington Bullets.
And he brings Clark a championship pedigree to the team.
No doubt.
3 seconds left, and it's slammed in by Malone.
He's so aggressive and confident inside. It's a real challenge trying to keep Malone out of the paint.
Poked loose, and through one half, it hasn't even been close. East All-Stars up on top, just dominating this one. Time. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
And the West All-Stars, looking at who they've got. Malone is out there with Olajuwon. Then it's Lever. Then it's Magic Johnson. And it's English in at the 3. And it's sent back by Wilkins. And even 3-on-3 break. Malone down low. He's against Lever. Malone gets the bucket. Malone's got 8 points. And of the players in tonight's All-Star Game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
Enzo English will bring it up for the West All-Stars. And stolen by Jordan. And for a report on the center position, we take you over to David Aldridge.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, one of the big stories this weekend is the matchup of Moses Malone and Hakeem Olajuwon. Of course, Moses helped Hakeem a lot when he was starting in the game. He worked with him down in Houston in the summertime on low post moves and how to really rebound the basketball. Now we see the torch being passed from one of the all-time greats to a future all-time great. Kevin, back to you.
That's a good story, D.A., and there is that handoff, which is so historic to watch. Hakeem Olajuwon, by the way, Clark, got the 3rd most All-Star votes this year.
Which indicates how much the fans are beginning to recognize and appreciate his excellence. There's a reason that Olajuwon was drafted ahead of Michael Jordan. He's got a lot of game and clearly on his way to being one of the all-time greats. And in this day and age, you've got to have a dominant center to be able to compete for championships.
He is indeed a very special player. You're right.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time.
Donaldson, he's checked in for Olajuwon.
Now into the lineup for the West All-Stars, James Donaldson.
Tipped away. And pushing it up is the East again in transition. And not many out there who can elevate like Michael Jordan.
You know, Jordan doesn't need any help there. I mean, his athleticism is really on another level.
And you think about it, Justin Clark, how about the all-star reserves? Guys that start normally are the stars of their team, now off the bench on a team of stars.
Kevin, excellent point. For players who are used to starting the game, probably a rare experience coming in off the bench and trying to get it going. But I think these guys so enjoy being part of this. That sacrifice is not much at all.
You're exactly right. Well, if Jordan is going for that scoring record, Clark, he's running out of time.
You know, I think at this point, Kevin, he can't worry about the record. Just try to get the win. There's always next year to get the numbers. When you do moves like that and you miss, you know you're going to hear it from your coaches and your teammates.
And here we go. The East with a fast break. Jordan's running. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for one more at the line.
Pretty good display of strength by Jordan there. Absorbed the contact and still able to nail the shot.
And some changes here for the West All-Stars. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Malone. Aguirre comes in for English. And Clyde Drexler has subbed in for Lever. A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third.
You know, there's been talk about adding a third referee to NBA games. The commissioner and the rules committee are in favor of it. And they plan to put it before the Board of Governors at the next meeting. And the high-flying antics of Jordan, simply awesome.
On offense, here are the West All-Stars. That's tipped and stolen by Jordan. And here we go. The East with a fast break and then slammed in by Jordan.
Their offense has really stood out. They're piling up the points and torching this defense.
And Clark, with 3 officials working games, do you think that'll result in more fouls being called, more eyes on the ball? They can pick up a lot more, certainly, with more guys out there.
Yeah, you know, I think, Kevin, it might be the case early on with the third official, but over time it'll smooth itself out. Off the ball, you know, some things you could get away with in the past, maybe not so much with 3 officials out there.
Outside Wilkins. Oh, he's like a lightning bolt. Dominique Wilkins.
More points for Wilkins. That's what he does. He's an explosive athlete. and just as explosive as a scorer.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Aguirre kicks to Johnson. The shot that time, not on target. Nice D from Bird. Wilkins outside. Driving to the basket. Oh, and the tug by Wilkins.
Boy, the human highlight film. Wilkins that time crushing it off the dribble.
Drexler high post. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
Saw that time on the clock and let that shot fly perfectly.
Michael Jordan getting it done for the East. He put together. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined. Looking to stretch this lead out even further, going right after his shot.
Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are graped up pretty good.
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Woo, it sure has been. They've got Malone. Thomas is out there with Michael Jordan. Then it's Wilkins. And it's Bird in at the 4. So that's the 5 in the game for the East All-Stars. Drexler passes to McDaniel. Back to Drexler. He can't hit that time. And it's the East going the other way. Here's Wilkins. Oh, and the dunk by Wilkins.
One of the great strengths of his game. Wilkins so strong in the air, flushing it down.
Drexler passes to McDaniel. Knocked away. Stolen by Wilkins. Moving it up. Jumps up. It's slammed in by Wilkins.
Boy, are they locked in on offense, knocking down every shot right now.
And it's Drexler with the ball for the West.
And Commissioner David Stern in the house tonight. Since taking over 4 years ago, he's done a remarkable job helping guide this league to new unprecedented heights.
Exactly. Here's Thomas, and the jam by Isaiah Thomas.
Boy, inside, the defense goes all out trying to stop Thomas, but he stays focused and manages to get around him for the bucket.
One thing the league has done since Commissioner Stern has taken over, Clark, is really marketing the league around its stars. And I like that type of strategy.
I agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And what better time to highlight those great stars than tonight? Amazing talent, compelling personalities. The league is certainly on a great trajectory.
It absolutely is. Lever's checked in for Clyde Drexler.
And the Mavericks' Mark Aguirre actually got married last night. How about that? A big weekend for the DePaul product.
Jordan right side. Chalk up 2 there. Jordan's got 15 points here in the second half.
Another big night for Jordan. What a natural scorer he is. MJ simply can do it all.
Back to Lever. Got a piece of it. Now it's Thomas running. He can go all the way, all alone. And Thomas with the stuff.
Oh, I love the ferocity of Thomas on defense now. Remarkable, really good, I think, at reading the opponents and then jumping all over him with his defense.
Around 3 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Here's Donaldson.
2 minutes remaining.
Outside Lever. Launches a 3. Offensive rebound. The third shot of the possession finally falls for him. And in his 8th season in the NBA, James Donaldson making Clark his first All-Star appearance.
And you know, Kevin, before his NBA career, he actually played his first professional season in Italy. That's good. So he's taking the path less traveled for sure.
He said, "Arrivederci" to Italy to come to the NBA.
Yes, he did.
Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for the West. English comes in for McDaniel. Stolen by Bird. Up and in on the layup.
Larry Bird had it going last night at the Legends game. Trying to fill it up tonight as well.
And Kareem will need to get it going, Clark, to reach double digits.
I think his teammates have to do a better job of...
Oh, man!
Right now, this is Thomas's show. I mean, he's just torturing the defense and getting busy.
And stolen by Thomas. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Six on the shot clock. Passes it to Wilkins. And another three from the East.
This is how dangerous a scorer Wilkins is. Really capable of connecting right off the catch.
Lever kicks to English. Down low. Here's Donaldson. And it's good. Assisting on the play was English. And the 7-2 center from the Mavericks, James Donaldson.
You know, I think he's the only lefty in this game. Larry Bird and Danny Ainge right left-handed, but they shoot it with their right hand.
You and I have talked about this before, but defending a lefty is different than defending clearly a right-handed shooter.
Throws you off just a little bit, Kevin.
Thomas passes to Wilkins. And another three from the East.
And with this last run, they have shut the door on any chance of a comeback.
And it's the West All-Stars ball. Outside, English. Well-placed alley-oop pass into the layup.
Well, their play has certainly gone to another level. You just wish they'd made this move sooner.
Outside Thomas. From deep, Jordan, and another three from the East.
How about the damage they've done from deep? Sniping away with great confidence.
And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in. Clark, they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored, but you still got to go out and prove it, and they did exactly that.
And so much scoring in that lineup for the East. My goodness, look at those names. That's always going to be tough to stop.
And you factor in the raucous crowd cheering on Michael Jordan, Kevin. No wonder they found that extra gear they needed when it was time to get it done.
That's a good point. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching.